there, Lariane with Pink Dahlia Soaps here with another episode of Soapy Things, a place where I make things other than cold processed soap. Today we're making Melt and Pour Buffalo Check Soap. Let's get started. I'm using this 20-ounce mold, but you can use any mold that you like. I found it easier to work with a smaller mold because there is cutting involved and it was way easier to cut a smaller soap. Please keep in mind that if you use a larger mold, your measurements will be different from mine. You will need some white melt and pour, clear melt and pour, colorants of your choice. I'm using red and green color blocks, but you can use mica as well. 99% isopropyl alcohol in a spray bottle, fragrance oil should you decide to put fragrance in your soap, and an infrared thermometer. If you are using a 20-ounce mold, you're going to measure out and cut up 7 ounces of clear soap. If you're using a different size mold, just take the total amount of ounces and divide it by 3, and that will give you the amount of clear soap that you need for this portion. After you get the soap all cut up, you are going to microwave it in 30-second increments to melt it. This is a soap after 30 seconds. I decided to go ahead and add my color to it right now. I'm also going to add the fragrance oil. I'm adding 2 teaspoons, which is a 5% usage rate. Giving it a little stir, and then I'm putting it back in the microwave for 20 to 30 seconds, or until it is melted completely. I'm placing the mold on the cutting board because I plan on putting the soap into the freezer to firm up. Using the board just makes it easier to move the mold. So go ahead and put the green soap in the mold, give it a spritz with some alcohol to pop the air bubbles, and place it in the freezer for about an hour. So this is about an hour later, and you always want to double check and make sure that it is solid. I'm going to go ahead and unmold this. Perfect. And now we'll make one exactly like this, but red. So we're going to cut up 7 ounces of clear soap, melt it in the microwave for 30 seconds, add the colorant and the fragrance oil, stir it up, put it back in the microwave for another 20-30 seconds until it's melted completely, pour it into your mold, give it a spray with alcohol to pop the air bubbles, place in the freezer for about an hour or until the soap is completely solid. When the soap is completely cooled and solid, go ahead and unmold it. And now that our red and green soaps are ready, we are going to go ahead and cut them both into 4 equal parts, or as equal as you can get. If you want, you can measure it out and cut it, but I just went ahead and eyeballed it. Now that you have your soap all cut up, remove 1 green and 1 red. You're only going to use 3 of each. This is a quick sketch of what I'm doing. The first row will be red, white, white, red, white, green, white, red, white. Hopefully the picture helps explain what I'm trying to say. Just like the sketch, I'm going to place a red and a green piece of soap, leaving space in between each for the white soap. If you are using the 20-ounce mold, go ahead and measure out and cut up 11 ounces of white soap. Otherwise, take the total amount of ounces your mold holds, divide it by 3, and multiply it by 1.5. You may want to add about ½ an ounce extra of white melt and pour, just in case. After 30 seconds in the microwave, I'm adding 15 ml of fragrance oil. Give it a stir and put it back in the microwave for 20 to 30 seconds or until it melts completely. This is after about another 30-40 seconds in the microwave. I'm checking the temperature. It's too hot to pour over the red and green portion. I'm going to wait until it's below 140. The soap is now 139, so I'm going to go ahead and pour it in between the red and green in the empty spaces. Try to pour the soap so that it is level with the red and the green. Give it a spritz with some alcohol, and I'm just adding a little bit more to make sure that it's level with the red and the green soap. And then I'm going to immediately go ahead and put on another red and green piece of soap right on top of the white. And I am using the sketch as a reference so that I don't place the colors in the wrong spot. Before I pour the next layer, I want to get any excess alcohol. It kind of pooled up in there, I don't know if you can tell. So I'm taking a paper towel and soaking up the excess. Too much alcohol can actually prevent the layers from sticking to each other, so you do want to be careful with spraying too much alcohol. You may have to melt the soap again. Just make sure that it's under 140 degrees Fahrenheit before you pour. So same process, pour, spritz with alcohol, and immediately place your next layer of soap. Use a napkin to soak up the excess alcohol. Remelt your white soap if you have to. Make sure it's under 140 degrees Fahrenheit and make your last pour. Give the top a final spritz with alcohol. You can use a toothpick if needed to pop any bubbles and make sure the soap is all the way to the edges and the corners. Now you have to wait at least 4 hours. You want to make sure the soap is completely cooled. And now here's the soap completely cooled. I actually waited overnight to unmold this because I made it late the night before, so I just went right to bed after I made it. It was a little bit tricky to unmold, but it's a good thing this is a silicone mold because it's very flexible. Just go ahead and pull it back. Would you look at that? Nice. I cannot wait to cut this. One of the perks of making your own soap is you can cut it as big or as small as you like. I cut these bars about a ½ inch thick, maybe a little bit bigger. That first one was a little bit smaller though. The edge is a little bit wonky, which is fine if you like. You can go ahead and leave it just as it is, or you can use a soap planer and plane it right off, or cut it off. I'm going to go ahead and use a soap planer to cut off the soap that seeped through on the side of the mold. And it's like it was never there. I'm going to go ahead and do all around the bar since I have the soap planer out. Well, I might as well go ahead and bevel it. And you want to go ahead and get these bars wrapped in some plastic, or they will form glycerin dew, which makes the soap look like it's sweating. Doesn't hurt the soap, but it's not very attractive to look at. And you can use shrink wrap, but I'm just using regular plastic wrap. Perfect, right? Go ahead and label it however you want and give it away. I think anyone would love to receive this as a nice stocking stuffer or hostess gift. But if you want to make it extra cute, go ahead and get some ribbon. I found this ribbon at the dollar store, and then I printed out some tags, or you can use some store-bought tags. And now I'll take this paper punch and punch it out. All done. Isn't this the cutest? And the best part is you can make these in whatever colors you want, use whatever fragrance oils you want. To me, it's just so much better when you can hand make an item. You can customize it however you want. That does it for this episode of Soapy Things. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you next time. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.